everyone, and welcome to the final theory quiz of the year. So this is for grades 1 and 2, and you can do it at any point during the summer. If you've missed any, there's a playlist on our YouTube channel, so you can catch up on all of the quizzes. So this is just a summarization of the second half of your syllabus for grades 1 and 2. So last week we did rhythm, this week is pitch. So there'll be a few questions, but mostly just information to get a piece of paper and get ready to write everything down about the pitch sides of grades 1 and 2. So the first little section is the stave. So the stave has 5 lines, and so how do we remember the spaces and the lines on both staves? We've got the treble clef, the spaces and lines, and bass clef. So you might have your own methods, or there might be some methods we've talked about, but can you remember first of all? Give me a few seconds to work that out. Okay, and pause if you need more time, but here are the answers. So for the treble clef, we have face, so F, A, C, and E. For the spaces and for the lines, we have E, G, B, D, F. It could be every good boy deserves football, or every good boy deserves fine, and then maybe apples at the top. Anything you want it to be. And the bass clef for our spaces, we have A, C, E, and G, which is all cows eat grass. And for the lines, we have G, B, D, F, A. That's good boys deserve fine apples. They both work for that one.
Okay, so linking to the stave, we've got ledger lines, and there's not really much to talk about here other than what you can see on the slide. They're little mini extensions of the stave. So when we need to use a note that goes either above or below the note range included on the stave, we just draw a little line, little horizontal line that's parallel to the stave lines, and that's the same, a corresponding distance as well. And so you need to be familiar with ledger lines up to 2. So up to 2 ledger lines are above or below the stave. And so just to practice ledger lines, I've given you a few little questions here. So just pause the video and see if you can work out what the following notes are. You'll need to use the ones Miss Morgan went through, so the all cows eat grass and the face. Let's see if you can remember what these notes might be. So pause the video if you need more time, but we're going to go through the answers now. So A, Miss Morgan, what do you think A is?
I think it might be a B.
It's a B. Let's see if you're right. Oh, very good. It is a B. It's the B immediately below middle C. So what about question B?
It's a D.
It's a D, exactly. It's the D just above middle C. And what about C? Careful of the clef with this one.
Yep, it's very low, and it's a B.
Exactly. I always find the ones just at the bottom of the bass clef quite tricky. I always remember having to spend a bit longer to work those ones out. And what about D?
And that's one of the highest notes we sing as a treble. It's a top A.
Very good.
So accidentals, these are the little symbols that can go before a note and change their pitch. So what do these symbols mean? Have a second to think them through. And pause if you need more time, but here are the answers. So the first one is a flat, and this lowers it by a semitone. We have a natural in the middle, which cancels everything out and returns it to its normal pitch. And a sharp, the hashtag, which is not a hashtag, raises it by a semitone. So you just have to know these symbols, no easy way around it. So we always write these to the left of the note head, because even though we say it's a B flat or an F sharp, we have to, it has to correspond to that note. So thinking this is a flat that's happening to this thing it's next to. If it happened afterwards, it'll be too late. We wouldn't think about it quick enough. So you have to have a heads up about these accidentals. And on a stave, they look like this. We've got a sharp, flat, and a natural there.
Lovely. So the next thing is quite a big topic, this. We're going to talk about scales and also key signatures. But we're going to start off with a scale. And I've got a definition of a scale there on the screen. It's a sequence of 7 pitches, and it moves up or down by step. That's the really key thing with a scale. All the notes are next to each other. So 7 pitches, remember that. We'll need that later. Scales can be major or minor. And just as an example, a C major scale uses all the white notes on the piano. So key signatures basically tell us what notes lie in a certain scale. Yeah, they're sort of like the guide. And so the key signature of C major has no sharps or flats. So if we see a key signature of no sharps or flats, it tells us that the scale for that key signature doesn't use any sharps or flats. Yeah, so I thought a good way to go over this again would be to call back the quickfire key signatures round from a couple of weeks ago. But I thought I could quiz Miss Morgan this time. So, well, we need to know them up to 3 sharps or flats for grades 1 and 2. So we're going to go through all of those now. These are them. So revise them quickly, Miss Morgan. Oh, that's enough time. So the first one, no sharps or flats. Which keys use this key signature?
3, 2, 1. C major and A minor.
Very good, very good. So C major and A minor have a key signature of no sharps or flats. What about this one? Which keys have a key signature of 1 sharp? Remember, it's always going to be a major key and a minor key.
3, 2, 1. G major and E minor.
Exactly. Right, let's go a bit faster now. So 1 flat, a major key and a minor key that use the key signature of 1 flat.
3, 2, 1. F major and D minor.
Very good, very good. What about 2 sharps?
3, 2, 1. D major and B minor.
Excellent. What about 2 flats?
3, 2, 1. B flat and G minor.
Excellent. So we've got 2 more. So 3 sharps.
3, 2, 1. A major and F sharp minor.
Good. And the very last one, 3 flats.
E flat major and C minor.
Good. So the 3 flats, they come up at grade 2. And for grade 1, you need to know some of them up to 2 sharps and flats, but not all of them. But I mean, you know, it's good to know them all. So write those down and make sure you are happy with those.
So the last thing is our scale degrees and intervals. So every note in a scale can be given a number. So our first note in the scale is 1, second note is number 2. And that first note is our tonic, it's our key note. The tonic is the note that the whole scale is based on, so it's number 1. And everything just adds up from that point onwards. When we get to 8, we reset and go back to 1. So 8 is equivalent to 1 in this scenario. So when we have our intervals, these tells the number of scale degrees above a certain note. So if we're using our tonic as 1, then the note which is a third above it is scale degree 3. Remember, our tonic always equals 1. So if it's a C and an E, we have C, D, E. It's a third apart. So this can be an interval above the tonic, and you can have intervals in between different notes as well. So as long as we count from our bottom note, even if it goes before or after each note, we always count from our bottom note upwards, and the bottom note is always 1. So it's always very important.
Good. And I think this is the last thing, tonic triads. So basically we can have any note on the piano as our tonic. And the tonic triad is a 3-note chord that we build where that tonic that we've chosen is the bottom note of that chord. And say we have our scale starting on that tonic, scale degrees 1, 3, and 5 would be the notes that feature in a tonic triad. So we can build a tonic triad on any note, and it's got the notes that are a third and then a fifth above it.
So that is it for the final quiz. So I hope you had a lovely term, and it's not been the easiest, but you all done really well. So thank you for watching. And if you're really missing the quizzes, you can do them all again and see if you can get 100%. So have a lovely summer, and you may see one of us in September.